Hi, welcome back here. In this video, we are dealing with the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, or later called as Pre-Raphaelites. In this video, we discuss who are the Pre-Raphaelite members. What is the purpose of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood? What was their history? What was their concepts? And also discussing some of the paintings portrayed by the very important members of this brotherhood. So we can directly go to the origin or history of Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, or the history behind the formation of Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. It was founded in John Millais' parents' house on Gower Street of London in 1848. John Millais was one of the important members of this brotherhood group. It was in his parents' house they firstly formed the meeting, and the very first meeting only 3 members or 3 painters participated in this meeting, and they were Millais, Hunt and Rossetti. Okay, and Hunt firstly started the painting, and it was the Eve of St. Agnes, based on the poem written by John Keats of the same name. And how they all know each other? Obviously, they are painters. And the other way is that Hunt and Millais and also Rossetti, they were the students at the Royal Academy of Arts. Rossetti was a pupil of Ford Madox Brown in 1848, and at that time or at that date, Rossetti and Hunt shared the lodgings in Cleveland Street of central London. So the important members, or the first beginning, the members appeared is Hunt, Millais and Rossetti. And later, by the autumn, here is a mention of Rossetti's development in his portrait. He wished to develop the links between romantic poetry and arts. By autumn, 4 more members or the painters added to the group, and they were James Collinson, Frederick George Stephens, William Michael Rossetti, who is the brother of Rossetti, and also Thomas Woolner. And this all together form a 7-membered strong brotherhood. Now let us discuss about some of the facts about this brotherhood. They later known as Pre-Raphaelites. So when we hear the name Pre-Raphaelite movement or Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood or Pre-Raphaelites, we can identify that the genre is mainly they are the genre of painting. They are not writers or authors or critics. Yeah, obviously they are critics, but the art critics, and mostly they are painters, and they are also they are poets. Okay, mostly they are focusing on their paintings. They are poets and as well as art critics. So Pre-Raphaelite movement means it is the movement through which these painters or poets or art critics, they are expressing. Okay, then that means they are expressing their views, or what is their real purpose of this group is expressed in the form of paintings. They are portraying their ideas and views through their paintings, and this group was published in 1848. We can say that it was during the time of Victorian period as well. And here the important thing is they published their works through a periodical, and they named it as the Germ. It's a very important point for NET and other competitive examinations, and here their periodical is named as the Germ. The group debates recorded in Pre-Raphaelite Journal, and this was not extended for more years. Instead, the brotherhood was separated after almost 5 years. And the very members of this group are, here I can show you that the William Holman Hunt, John Everett Millais, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, that is D.G. Rossetti, William Michael Rossetti, James Collinson, Frederick George Stephens and Thomas Woolner. These are the very important among the group, and the other members are Edward Bernard Jones, William Morris and John William Waterhouse. These all members contribute in the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. And when we go just to the history, We can see Joshua Reynolds style. Actually, the Pre-Raphaelites are upheld or give much supported by the Joshua Reynolds style, and it is called the Rococo style. ROCOCO style, Rococo style. And that is, it was started with Renaissance period onwards. Okay, and the main characteristics of this Rococo style is that it's a smooth style of painting, and here the elite upper classes are depicted through this paintings. The elite upper classes are depicted through this paintings, and also it was an academic style of, or the classical style of painting. They are not giving importance to truth. That is, they followed non-truthfulness, or we can say the glamorized reality is shown in their Rococo style of painting. And the important painters of that period was Raphael, Da Vinci and Michelangelo. In this, Raphael is an important person, and we can conclude here that the adoption of the name Pre-Raphaelite is expressed by the admiration for the paintings which came out before the time of Raphael. And we can say those paintings were the direct and complicated depiction of nature. Also, they were more natural and realistic in their paintings. And also, they inspired, that is, Pre-Raphaelites inspired by the Italian medieval art of painting during the 14th and 15th century. They are inspired by the Italian medieval art that occupied in the 14th and 15th century. And also, the Pre-Raphaelites defined themselves as the reform movement. They are calling themselves as a reform movement that create a distinct name for the form of their art. Okay, and also they rejected the classical influence, that is the Reynolds style. They rejected the Reynolds style, and instead they turned to the Italian medieval art or painting. And the concept they accept, the Pre-Raphaelites accepted the concept, or we can say the central purpose of art. The central to the purpose of art are history painting. For example, we can see The Shadow of Death by Hunt, which is an history painting on, or we can say it's a religious painting on Jesus Christ crucifixion. And also the second one is second concept is mimesis, and the third concept is imitation of nature. They also followed truthfulness, simplicity, and as well as spirit of devotion in religion. Here in this slide, I am showing about some of the criticism. That is the Pre-Raphaelites heard many of the criticisms, and even the many critics called them as the fleshly school. As we know, the Indian writer Kamala Das, also called as the flesh poet, or her poetry is called as flesh poetry. Why? Because those are trying to express the reality of the life, reality in the life of a woman, reality or their sexual urge, their desires, their love and their care for, or they are expecting those from their partner or husband. This is what they express through their poetry. But this is not actually a vulgar type of poetry, or those to be banned, like The Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence. What actually happening is, someone is having a voice and they are expressing the reality, the stark realism, the complete realism, and about the frank sexuality and their truth. But this is actually unacceptable to many, especially during the Victorian period of literature, because during the Victorian period we heard of Victorian prudery and as well as the morality. That means they are giving more importance to religion as well. Okay, and they are away from the realities, the stark realism. They are not giving importance to women or the feelings of women or the life of women. They are not. They are away from those, and such type of readers or critics called the Pre-Raphaelites as the fleshly school, because they show the stark realism and frank sexuality through their paintings. And now it is another part, that is the models of their paintings. We know that they are having some of the model characters. By looking them, they are portraying the images into canvas. And here, two important models of Pre-Raphaelites are Elizabeth Siddall, who is the wife of GRossetti, and also Jane Morrison, who is the wife of William Morris. And here, now let us discuss some of the paintings by William Holman Hunt, GRossetti, and also by Millais. Firstly, I am showing here the painting by William Holman Hunt, and this painting is known as The Shadow of Death. It was a religious painting, and it was painted or the worked from 1870 to 73. Here we can see Jesus Christ as a young man who is working as a carpenter in his working place. And here when we deeply look, we could see the shadow also here. And in the shadow, the stretching arms are folded on a please look at the shadow, not the real image. In the shadow, we can see that the outstretched arms are falls on a wooden spar of carpentry tools hang on it. There is a wooden spar with some of the carpentry tools, and there is the outstretched arms are fall very correctly on that wooden spar. That means this shows this is a symbolic representation of crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Also, we can see a woman sitting down. Who is that? Yeah, it's the Mary. What she is doing is she is gazing into a box, and there is a lot of gifts in that box given by Magi. Okay, I think this painting is clear to you. It's a religious painting. Okay, and the next one is the GRossetti's painting, and it is known as Prosperine, and it was worked on 1874. We can say that it is an oil painting, and the model here is Jane Morris. There was a gossips going on at that time that GRossetti had a deep love for or a sexual urge for Jane Morris, and because of that he used her in this painting. This painting actually shows his mental health for Jane. And what is this picture, or what is this painting is about? It is Prosperine, the wife of Pluto, who had the sexual intercourse, and this image is after their sexual intercourse with Pluto, and she is in a vulgar dress with a thick messy hair like that. And these all are actually fleshly paintings that is really unacceptable to many of the critics as well as the people of Victorian era. And the next one is Millais painting, and by the just glance itself we can see that it is the tragic death of Ophelia in water. Okay, here it was worked on 1851 to 52, and in this we can see a beautiful figure in water who has death, but above that we can see a beautiful landscape there. That means Millais or the Pre-Raphaelites, they are giving landscape also as equal importance to the figure in their paintings. Okay, and here the model here in this painting is Elizabeth Siddall, who is the wife of GRossetti. And this is here all about the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. I hope this video will be very useful to you and you understand the video very much. If you have any doubts, you can comment me. If you like the video, do share it and also subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.